Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. This is the Dundreary Landstalker XL. And I'm about to find out if it'll off-road and peep that new intro, right? I don't know why I went all whistly on intro there. So yeah, all new intro for the channel. Started actually last Thursday with Rockstar News, though we did go like a little earlier with an Astro update a week before just to kind of test it out, but it wasn't quite finished in that test. And you're even going to see some other updated graphics throughout this video, the transition between vehicles, as well as the outro screen, all but updated, and the little cards that are flashing up at the bottom left. Pretty much the same animation, but they have new art. And it's all nice and unified between Twitch and YouTube. I use the same icons, the same fonts, the same colors everywhere now. So there's a lot of consistency between them. Of course, all new channel logo, which means channel merch is coming very soon because I finally have like true vector drawings of all of my art that I made myself, which makes it a lot easier to get merch made, merch from PNGs. And images doesn't really look that good once it's printed. I have the hiccups really bad while I'm recording this, sorry. But merch from vector art looks fantastic. So merch should be following. I know I was originally going for June on it, but merch should be following pretty quick. That's now my priority, is to work on merch now that I've got all of the rebranding of the channel done. And I'd love to know your thoughts on the rebranding. It was just time. The old logo was great. It was actually inspired by a channel that I still watch to this day. But I wanted something that was my own. I wanted something that was fresher, that was new. And so that's what we have. And I like it. I dig it. I like the new look. I'm glad the old pill-shaped Vainglorious logo is gone. Though there will be some Vainglorious classic logo merch available. I plan on doing that. But hey, let's talk about this SUV since we're nearly to the top. And honestly, why not talk about graphics? This is a boring SUV. I love the look of the Landstalker from the outside. Beautiful, beautiful. I love the panoramic sunroof. I love the chrome accent. I think it's beautiful, but they really let us down with the interior. I think this is based on a Lincoln Navigator. Has an incredibly beautiful interior. It's like a $100,000 SUV. Interior on this is just basic, like, stuff. Rockstar, you let us down. Plus, there's just not a lot of customization with Landstalker, and it's fine to drive, a little top heavy. You've seen me struggle a lot with it on two wheels and wanting to try to roll over on me. But it's competent off-road. I mean, we're getting a decent time here as we climb up to the last little bit, and we're up in 2 minutes, 48 seconds. So will it off-road? Yeah, of course it will. I mean, it's an all-wheel drive SUV. You even saw Hobo and his older Landstalker was struggling a little bit. Of course, he was taking a harder line. Up those stairs can be difficult. I don't know what Donkey was doing. I don't think any of us knew what Donkey was doing. A rare non-credit Rocket has appeared, though. We just saw him there in the Scarab. Been a while since we had Rocket in the video, and you can hear, if you just miss hearing the old Rocket banter, well, if you're a Vainglorious channel supporter, you can hear it on the behind-the-scenes video that went live. Well, thanks, Hobo. That went live yesterday. Those are posted to the Vainglorious supporter Discord channel that only Vainglorious supporters have access to, that and my support staff. YouTube members, Twitch subscribers, Patreon supporters, you all get access to that channel. So there's perks, definite perks. Anyway, so we're on our way back down in the Landstalker XL. I just feel like you have to say it that way. It's like Trojan Magnum XL. Okay, maybe it's not quite like that. Though I do tend to think that people who would drive this SUV would be compensating for not needing the Magnum XLs. Just saying. Which is thus the point of my license plate. You can see it right there. All my big trucks and SUVs all have the compensate license plate, except for the Insurgent that says 13 inches. And yes, it's all dick jokes because I am the world's oldest 15-year-old. My birthday's coming up this month, and everybody always asks every year, so does this mean you're turning 16 this year? Nope. I'm still the world's oldest 15-year-old, and I miss that hiker entirely, and it makes me sad. The saddest part is usually somebody in one of the support vehicles takes out the hikers I missed. The hobo missed them too. So neither hobo nor I was able to nail him. So you may notice there's a dot down ahead of us. Sven was trying to do Dundreary with the limo. I missed him. My brakes weren't very good, but hobo didn't miss him and sent him, into me. Bit of a mishap there. Nothing to do with the Landstalker. It's everything to do with the fact that Willett Offroad is a wonderfully, incredibly, vaingloriously impressive shit show in all the good ways. It's great. But yeah, you can see the Landstalker XL going up on two wheels quite often because it's a big top-heavy box. So of course it's going to want to try to roll over constantly. This will be one of the vehicles, though, that when I need space and storage will be the first to go. It just will be. Oh, I missed a hiker again. It's just, I don't know, it's just so average. It looks nice, and that's it. But it doesn't look nice enough because of the disappointing interior to keep it as a, ooh, it's pretty car. So, But we're down in 2 minutes, 52 seconds. There goes the hobo. Oh, almost a perfect landing. But we're back at the top of Mount Chiliad through the magic of editing. And we're going to... Somebody was creeping up on my camera. I don't know who that was. I think it was Donkey. Well, I don't appreciate it. Don't creep on the camera, Donkey. Or whoever it was. Don't creep on the camera. But we're on our way down. Remember, Sven is in a limousine. Those do not have armor. So he's at great peril. At risk of blowing up. And I swear I've done the stretch, and I swear it made it to the top of the mountain. But Sven couldn't get that car up there, and he can usually get cars up faster and better than I can. So maybe I'm misremembering, and I was not able to get the limo up to the top. I don't know. Can't be bothered to go check. But since we're talking about previous runs, the Landstalker XL is 58th overall out of 286 vehicles. And third in SUVs. It's just a few tenths of a second faster than the Seminole Frontier, surprisingly. You would have thought the Seminole Frontier would have maybe pulled off a better time, being based on a trail-rated Jeep. But, nope, didn't do it. And speaking of this being the 286th vehicle, well, the next one will be the 286th vehicle that we tested in Willett Offroad. This concludes this round of testing for Willett Offroad. So next week, Willett Offroad will be here, but it will be Willett Offroad at the races with one of the fastest and one of the slowest. So the Rancher, or the Yosemite Rancher, and the Yoga 4x4. Those two will be racing. That's a fast and a slow. And then the week after that, we'll be doing, I can't read my own handwriting. Oh, the Penumbra FF and the Peyote. Again, excuse me, one of the fastest, one of the slowest. Technically, the DR1 was the fastest, but I didn't want to create a whole new track for an open wheel track. I did notice that when I went to edit my Willett Offroad race, it let me include the open wheels, so maybe it was possible, but whatever. We've already made a decision. We're not going to do the open wheelers. We are down on the damage descent as Hobo sneaks by in 2 minutes, 5 seconds. So let's take a look at the damage on the XL and get ready for some fancy graphics. All the lights and most of the windows are gone. The hood, tailgate, and right fender have completely been obliterated. Somebody's shooting a laser. The doors won't close, and there are bent wheels. I don't know what's happening over there. I've given up trying to keep track of them. But we'll take a look at the support vehicles, and everybody pretty much had a rough time of it. A lot of damage there. But that brings us to our next vehicle. After the slick transition, the Overflod Imorgon, and that's the same transition I use on my Twitch streams. See, bringing it all together, all that branding together. It's like I'm finally, after nearly 6 years of this, almost a professional at it. Now, if I can only get those professional numbers. But yeah, the Imorgon, not from the Los San Andreas, Los Santos Summer Special DLC, whatever that stupid DLC was called. Where we got all of the drip feed cars from the DLC that was canceled. Did you know that was true? It is, it's true. But the Imorgon comes from a DLC previous that we never got to test because I didn't own it, but I want it on the podium, so I figured I will test it now. All-wheel drive electric hybrid vehicle. And I like the Imorgon. A lot of people, its looks are very polarizing. People are either really like its looks or really hate it. I like it. I think it's a nice looking car. It's one of the few cars that a big massive wang on the back actually looks right because of where it's positioned and how it anchors. I like the look of the car. I'm not a fan of how it drives, in the dirt especially. I don't mind driving it on the streets, but here in the dirt, the all-wheel drive understeer is a pain in the ass. We actually had to record twice. Because right there, when I gave it a little blip of gas, the understeer was so bad it pulled me to the left, even though I was turning right, and I ran off the mountain right there. I just haven't spent enough time with this car to predict that. But it winds up happening again in this run. And you'll see it here in just a few seconds. And it's just unpleasant to drive in the dirt because of that. The back end has a ton of grip. It holds on no problem. But it has so much grip that it's kind of hard to get the back end to let loose to counteract that understeer that you get. And if you're not familiar, understeer, this is our incident here. I was turning to the right, car went left. Understeer comes in front wheel drive and all wheel drive cars especially, but more front wheel drive cars. And it's friction that is being used to drive the wheels can also be used to turn the vehicle. It's either or. You can have some going to one, some going to the other, but you can't have all the friction doing both ever. That's physics. And because of that, if you're trying to use that friction for propulsion for moving forward, you're going to sacrifice your ability to turn in as precisely. And that's in real life, and it's true in GTA. Which is one of the things GTA gets right. But that understeer just bites this car in the ass constantly in the dirt, making it very frustrating. Speaking of biting in the ass, Finn left the helicopter at the top for me. But we're up 2 minutes, 46 seconds. So will the Imorgon off-road? Yep, it does. But, I mean, it's okay, but you do have to be careful of that understeer because I was constantly fighting this thing to keep it going in the direction I wanted it to go. More so, I think, than any other all-wheel drive vehicle, or at least all-wheel drive sports vehicle that I've taken up this mountain. I don't remember ever having as big of a struggle. I don't know how well that was telegraphed through the video, but I was constantly struggling with this thing, going up and back down the mountain to keep it where I wanted it to be. And that made it unpleasant. Again, love driving this car around on the city streets. You can whip it around a corner at speed real easy. Mainly because the back end does have so much grip. You get off the gas, turn, so that okay, then it just rolled over. That was weird. And turn in once you're off the gas, and then as soon as you've got your trajectory, you can get back on the power gradually, and it'll kind of pull itself right through that corner. And it's beautiful. The car does that beautifully. But that's on pavement. Here in the dirt, it wasn't pleasant. Even through some of these easier sections, you can see I'm just all over the place, just trying to predict where this car is going to try to go. Oh, it did manage to take out a hiker successfully. So never mind. Everything I've ever said bad about it, strike that. It hit a hiker, so perfect car, 10 out of 10. No, it's so hard to predict where on the power band and in your steering input that understeer combination is going to kick in. It just there's not a lot of consistency to it, and so it just makes it a little frustrating to drive in the dirt. But you know, when push comes to shove, if you have to off-road, it does get up in a pretty good time. Makes it 11th out of 46 sports cars that we have tested. It is sandwiched in between the Tropos Rally, which was a little bit faster, and the D10, which was just a little bit slower, by just a few tenths of a second either direction. And it makes it 53rd overall out of the 286 vehicles that we've tested. So kind of fun. And you can join in on the World Off-Road testing once it returns, which it'll return with the next DLC. And of course, when there's snow, we'll just pick some cars at random to test in the snow. And we'll talk about how you can do that in just a minute. But we are down in 2 minutes, 29 seconds so through the magic of editing after Hobo lands. Oh, that was beautiful landing. We will fling this thing off the side of the mountain. And yeah, if you are a member of the Vainglorious Discord server and you play GTA Online on PC, you're welcome to join us when we do World Off-Road testing, as well as every Sunday afternoon when we record just other community videos if you have the game that we happen to be using to record at the time. The more the merrier. Unless, of course, it's a game that's only limited to 4 players, then that becomes a problem. But, you know, join the Vainglorious Discord. Even if you don't play on PC, we have a great group of people to hang out with, talk to. All gamers, all nerds. Well, I don't know if everybody's a nerd, but I'm going to assume everybody's a nerd if they're a gamer. It kind of goes hand in hand. True gamers are nerds, and any of them that try to say otherwise aren't true gamers. So suck it, nerd. Yeah. Anyways, I just banged my pen on the bottom of my desk. And make sure you're playing Will It Off-Road Bingo. The link to that is in the description down below. You just click Generate Card, and then on your mobile device or on your computer, click on the square as things happen in the video. And if you get bingo, put it in the comments. That's how Will It Off-Road works. We've only had 3 or 4 winners total, ever, on bingo. You don't get anything other than bragging rights, but hey, bragging rights on the internet, I mean, that's pretty big. So, Morgan doing all right, actually, on the damage descent. Handling this bumpy muddy bit fairly well as some sort of free mode event's about to start. One of the checkpoints is, like, right above the finishing line. Like, there it is. Tried to clear that wood pile. Failed again. But we are down in the Imorgon. 1 minute, almost 35 seconds. Let's take a look at the damage. The windshield, the left quarter window, and even the rear window, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the rear window's gone too. I just forgot to put it in the text. The left door is missing. The hood and right door will not close. And it has bent wheels. And we will take a look at the 2 remaining sport vehicles. Everybody else bailed on us, but there's the 2 that went with me. And yeah, they're both beat to hell. And that is going to do it for regular Will Off-Road testing until the next DLC or the snow, whichever comes first. And of course, we will be back in the next 2 weeks with Will It Off-Road at the races, where we go racing and race quite dirty, actually. But until then, I'm Brandon, reminding you to check out these cool new outro graphics and stay vainglorious.